This is Sparta! Oh jeez! So, you want to have Gladiator in Dragon Age Veilguard. Hail at Meshes Adventures, it's me, Spot the King. Welcome to Dragon Age Veilguard, of course, and today I will give you warrior build to make yourself a real crazy gladiator. To make everything work, you need right gear and also correct companions with the right skill tree. So, let's jump forward into the skill tree first. Our build will focus on warrior class, of course, but we will go into champion specialization. Champion sounds cool, but champion is basically like a guy with a sword and a shield, and that's what we are building here today. So, when you start in the game, I really like to have tumbling blades that will give you double evade and also rage decay depletion. So Rancor will make rage longer to decay, which is really great because it's hard to generate rage on fighter, on warrior. And also you will start the game just with one skill, driving kick. It's hard to get rage even for this in the beginning of the game, and that's why I like to have spectral bulwark, especially early in the game. But you don't need this spectral bulwark later, that's why you can actually like remove the skill later in the game. But still, there's nice notes over here, stagger from abilities, rage generation, and that's basically it. And that's actually what we are building for today. We're building for staggering guy who can stagger enemies a lot and really easy. And that's basically how we play normally. So that's like first 3 levels can be applied over here, but then we're starting our way towards champion, of course. Champion will be locked behind level 20, this will be locked behind 30, and this will be locked behind 40. But the build will be awesome even from level 20 when you just hit your specialization. So we're starting with counter blow. We will be using shield and sword a lot, and you will be using defense more than rolls. Still, against some enemies I really like this double roll attack, but counter blow is your main bread and butter in beginning. When you make perfect defense, basically you need to press block button right before you're being attacked. When you see yellow above your head, you can use your quick attacks with a shield or with a sword to make counter blow. Very nice and powerful stuff. Then you gain precision after perfect defense, and precision will give you ability to critical strike with your final or charged attack. So basically, make perfect defense, do charge attack, and that's it, you will destroy your enemy. Then we get in Titan Stomp, area control ability that will have only cooldown and no mana cost, which is great for us, of course, and it will deal very high stagger to nearby enemies. So that's our basically like insane ability combination from the get-go, from the like level 5 or so. Driving kick is nice starting ability that will give you ability to close down distance to some enemies and push enemies away, so you can play like a real Spartan warrior, pushing enemies off the cliffs. Very nice skill. Also it will deal pretty nice stagger if you push enemies in the walls and you have this Charon. They will take more stagger from environmental impacts, and basically like starting combination will be something like go in with driving kick if you're like able to, or just close down distance normally, cast spectral bulwark. When enemies hit you, they will take a lot of stagger, and also when you retaliate damage with your shield with perfect defense, they will also take a lot of stagger. It will increase your defense, so you can mess up your like perfect defenses pretty easily. This won't like cost you a lot. And then you just using your Titan Stomp instantly to apply Overwhelm and also deal some stagger. Enemies will be staggered and you will easily defeat them with takedowns. Then you want to go to our champion specialization, and that's why we get in physical resistance plus 10%, but don't rush, it's still locked behind level 20. That's why Return to Sender is a nice node to have, it's good trait. Now you can use perfect defense against projectiles and throw projectiles at enemies. Very fun, very like cool ability. So, then we go into Slayer and basically get in this reinforcement. Each of your active advantages will increase damage dealt by 10%, and we will have insane amount of advantages with this build. Then we increase in our rage generation and get in heavy armor mastery. While you're wearing heavy armor and heavy helmet, you will have more defense and less likely be disrupted when getting hit. Pretty fun when you're doing charge attacks. So, nice ability to have. And we build in Spartan warrior, so we want really high defense, and our defense without any bonuses is almost 300 already, which is insane. So then we basically going to level 20 and getting all nodes over here. More fire damage, gain flaming weapons on perfect defense. Again, you're doing a lot of perfect defenses with this build, you want to do it, and you will gain flaming defense at the same time right after it. It will also last longer, and basically it will add fire damage on your attacks. Very nice. Then we get in heavy attack damage plus 10%, and our skill, Grappling Spear. So its projectile control ability, again uses no mana at all, applies Overwhelm, and you will harpoon your target with a strong throw, and then you can perform light to heavy attack to follow up with physical damage. So pretty nice, like cool stuff basically. To close distance to your enemies. You can get this stagger from charge attacks and also unbroken finale. Basically you can use force attack in a combination, force heavy attack, and you can even make like 4 heavy attacks in a row combination. This will be a final shield attack. Make sure to charge your attacks with a shield for extra damage and extra stagger, of course, and also you can have this takedown damage plus 15%, and using control abilities versus enemy with high health deals additional stagger. Very nice. So you will start your fight with Grappling Spear, which is projectile control ability, and apply a lot of stagger with this. Another way to apply a lot of stagger is Titan Stomp, of course, also control ability that deals high stagger and will deal double stagger. And Driving Kick is also control ability. That's my combination of skills, is Driving Kick with Titan Stomp and also Grappling Spear. So we got everything here, and you should be already around level 20. That's why we're going into champion specialization, getting Warden's Fire, which is a really fun ultimate that spawns a lot of arrows from the top with a final catapult slam. Nice fire damage, applies burning to enemies. That's just ultimate, we're not relying at it a lot. Getting Blight Bane, fun ability, we want to use it. And basically at this point of the game, as champion, we want to survive, so we can use a lot of perfect defenses, even if we're basically fuck it up and not pressing it at the right time. So, Shield Bearer. Shield damage will be higher, and also control abilities will be upgraded. You will have more defense for each control ability equipped. So, 20 defense for each control ability, 60 defense instantly. For comparison, we got heavy armor with 176 defense, it's plus 9 legendary armor right now. And like legendary plus 10 helmet got 106 defense. Just by equipping 3 abilities in the early game, when you reach level 20, like 21, 22, you already can have like almost extra helmet on you. Very crazy. Also we're increasing our fire damage and getting this upgrade over here. Area abilities will deal fire damage, so that's pretty nice upgrade for our Titan Stomp. It will deal fire damage, a little bit more damage because we get some fire bonuses, like whatever. So when you reach level 30, you will get extra skill points while you're going over there, while you're leveling up, and I will explain to you right after I will explain what you want to get at level 30 and 40. So first of all, you want to go into Inspiring Guard. When you're using your perfect defense, it can block unblockable attacks. So before there was like red attacks that you was forced to roll against, but now you can block any attack, and also you will get a rally party advantage on perfect defense. Then we get in Battle Cry for more health and more defense. Unbroken Finale will be in larger radius when you have Rally Party, and basically you're trying to get Rally Party with perfect defense, and then starting Unbroken Finale. If you forgot what is it, it's basically your combination with 4 shield attacks. And also you will gain 50% of your defense as bonus shield attack damage. So your shield will be like powerful weapon from now on. At level 40, get Reverb. You will trigger Shockwave when you execute perfect defense for some fire damage and applying burning to targets, more burning stacks, and Flamed will give more burning damage based on your rage, and since all our spells will be basically 0 rage, almost all our spells, we will have maximum rage most of the time, and burning will really burn our targets. Burning is now also applied to enemies around the target, which is great. So basically with just 1 perfect defense, at this point of the game when you're reaching like late game, you will burn down enemies easily, fast, and like without problem. So how we level up in between level 30, level 40 and towards late game. Basically, just look at this tree, and we got few like options. The first option, actually, I recommend you going over here and increasing your control abilities, increasing power of them. So basically, we need everything you see over here, no matter in what order, but I like going like one by one. So Providence will give you more advantage duration, which is nice, because we get more damage from each advantage, and we will have a lot of advantages, as I told you, thanks to our gear. Defeating enemy with control ability grants deflect, very nice. One more source of deflect. Primer duration plus 20%, and primers applied by control abilities last longer. Detonations deal more damage, and we will be able to make 2 detonations, and basically a lot of detonations one by one with this build and right companions. I will show you, but for now we're getting more rage when taking damage, more health, more maximum rage, getting skill Groundbreaker. We're not using it, but just by picking any ability we will have more ability damage, and here we will have more burning stacks. Very nice for us in this point of the game, in the like late game, so we will apply a lot of burning, and that's very nice. Gain deflect at the start of each encounter. Basically we're gaining 1 more advantage from the start of the fight. More deflect stacks, very nice, so we can like have a lot of deflects at the same time. And that's really great stuff, because deflect basically ignores next impact received. So you can play a lot with your shield and try to make perfect defense even if you're failing timings. You don't need to be perfect with this build, you can play, spam a lot of blocks and enjoy. So upgrade control abilities, now deal critical hits versus enemies recovering from knocked down. You will knock down enemies like easily. And now with control abilities you will deal critical hits, which is great. Takedown damage plus 15%. Performing takedown, generate ultimate and rage. Very nice if you like to spam your ultimate. And some resistances. That's not like most important nodes over here, but still you can have them. So over here we got more shield toss stagger. It basically will take your rage and turn it into stagger. And it won't take your rage, it will take your like current rage, which is really nice and will be always at maximum most of the time. And affliction damage plus 10%. Again, we're doing a lot of burning damage in the late game, and that's nice to have this affliction damage. And one more branch will be over here. So we're in the top left right now, near the champion specialization. After fire damage, we're taking this node that will give us ability to deal more damage to enemies with affliction with charged attacks, which is great. We're not benefiting from this a lot, especially in the mid like late game, but towards late game with a great weapon, that's nice buffs, and you can definitely take this earlier if you wish to. So like pick whatever branch you like more. This is more protective branch. If you want to go here first, you can go. This is more like aggressive branch that will benefit from your weapon attacks, from your shield attacks more. And after this bonus to charge attacks, we get in determined dash. You can now hold down your final attacks for more impact, beneficial for your combination, definitely get stagger from weapon attacks, and also performing takedown heals you with more charge attack damage, gaining flaming weapons on takedown, and stagger from charge attacks. That's basically it. This is the build, but to make everything work, we need right gear. So, what gear we have over here? First of all, we got nice and cool sword. It's Metal's Light, it's unique sword, and if you don't know where to get unique weapons, they are actually predetermined and they always in the same spots in this game. I get location for every unique weapon, you just need to watch video in the description after you watch this one. So if you need locations for each unique weapon, no matter you played in as warrior, mage or rogue, you will find all weapons in the same locations. So some weapons will be different, but Metal's Light is same for everyone. That's pretty fun sword. It got nice stagger, but it got fun damage. It got 0 physical damage, but a lot of fire damage, necrotic, electricity, and cold damage. What does it mean? Basically, you're doing like 320 damage total with different damage types. While it doesn't sound like great stuff, we will use a lot of shield attacks actually, and that's a pretty like fun sword in my opinion, looking cool, and that's real like gladiator sword. Another options will be any cool like one-handed weapon that will give you some benefits. Another very good unique is the hard way that will reduce enemy defense on hit. I like this spellbound long sword. like really insane gladiator sword in my opinion, high stagger, nice damage, fire damage added, flaming weapons on kill with this weapon, fire resistance will be added to your flaming weapons damage, and apply burning on charge attacks with flaming weapons active. So that's really the sword you are looking for if you want insane damage in the late game especially. But most importantly, we need right shield, and shield will be Sentinel's Glory. So how to find basic gear like Sentinel's Glory? Every gear will have faction behind it, and this is icon of wheel jumpers. So just go on map, find wheel jumper location, it will be Arlatan Forest, and go open chests over here, make sure to finish all quests, side quests, and do companion quests in this area. You more likely will find more weapons and armors from this faction in this area. That's basically how I find this game works. So what is the cool parts of this shield? It got insane stagger, so we can easily put enemies on their knees, but also it got physical resistance, and when you do perfect defense, you will inflict stagger to your target and around you, and when you upgrade this weapon to legendary tier, staggering enemy will nullify their defense, and this means basically enemies will have no defense at all, so we can easily like break them. Another options can be Captain's Heater for more resistance, and also it will apply to your weapon damage. It will be higher for some of your resistances. Fate Touched Bulwark, fun unique, on perfect defense enemies will be pulled towards you. But still, in my opinion, Sentinel's Glory is the best pick. For our two-handed weapon, while we're not using this weapon, we're actually benefiting from some stats on it. For example, if you get Vigilant Great Hammer, you will have 30 defense when you just equip it. Just look, we get 596 right now, and with my weapon we get 553. So yeah, we're definitely benefiting from this weapon even while we're not using it. And we get this weapon for 25% more stagger, damage with charged heavy attack, and 50% staggered duration. More staggered duration means we basically will have more time against enemies without any defense, so we can easily like destroy them with any weapon we like. Again, I'm having fun with Metal Slide, but if you want to have even more crazy damage, especially with this build, go with Spellbound Longsword for crazy amount of fire damage and extra damage. For augmentations on our weapons, I got 40 added fire damage on Metal Slide, I got 25% stagger on my shield, and 15% damage at high health on my maul. Now let's go to our helmet. Helmet will be Golden Casque. It's Lords of Fortune helmet, it got nice defense, and also it got more stagger, takedown damage, stagger relative to Lords of Fortune allied strength, and you will gain health ultimate and rage on takedowns. So you stagger enemies, you take them down then, and you gain a lot of ultimate and rage, so very fun if you wish to cast more ultimates. And as you can see, we get another Lords of Fortune armor on ourselves. So while we can deal a lot of damage to enemies, actually we got some nice abilities to get rally party. That's why I like this armor. So I'm kinda like tank team leader role right now, and with this armor our companions actually can deal loads of damage, because this armor will give 20% damage from all companions, gain rally party on perfect defense, and 20% rally party effectiveness. Is there any like substitutions for this armor? Yeah, but I like how it looks. It's like gladiator armor, and yeah, we definitely can use appearance on us instead of using armor, but still. Another option is Extravagant Plate for more stagger duration, takedown damage, or even Plate of the Paragon for more resistance, defense, and health. So pretty nice armor. As you already understood, we will deal a lot of stagger, a lot of takedowns, and that's why a ring Call of the Hall is really nice unique ring for us. First of all, more takedown damage, more stagger, and you will gain random advantage on takedown. We already have insane amount of advantages, but from now on we will have also some random advantages from time to time, and it will increase our damage output a lot. Second ring will be Amaranthine Loop for more stagger duration, takedown damage, and takedowns are now considered lethal at higher health, so we can kill enemies a lot easier. Sightless Skull, that will upgrade our control abilities, is the amulet we are looking for. More control ability damage, stagger from them, gain rage, and precision when you stagger an enemy with control ability. And for our belt, we're using defense healing belt Dragon's Brace. It gives us rejuvenation. Again, we have pretty high health, and we can just pop this potion from time to time just to have this rejuvenation in the fight. And I just like it for having like nice defense bonus. I like this build as protective tank basically. So for augments, we got 10% defense on helmet, 30 flat defense on armor, 20% burning damage on amulet, rage generation on ring number 1, and control ability damage on ring number 2. Also don't forget, you can actually augment your abilities. So for our grappling spear, we will get gain deflect impacts on hit. Basically when you start a fight, you will get deflect stacks, then you start the fight by using grappling spear instantly and get one more deflect stack, so you will basically ignore 2 instances of damage. Titan Stomp will be upgraded with minus 15% cooldown duration. Again, I like this ability a lot. I want to cast it a lot more than once per 60 seconds. That's why that's a nice idea to have. Also, a lot of time we can use Call of the Whole takedown and get advantage quickened, so it will have even lower cooldown. And driving kick will have more ability stagger. That's up to you. You actually can get more stagger on this stomp, but I like to cast it 2 times instead of just having a little bit more stagger on instant impact. And yeah, these runes, of course, we got 10% stagger rune, 10% health rune, and plus 5% to all the resistances. Again, I'm not focusing on damage with this build, I'm focusing on defense, making my party members stronger, doing a lot of detonations, and basically it's really fun build to play. So, we got one Overwhelm ability, another ability that will apply Overwhelm, and one that will detonate Weakened. Since our party members will be really powerful, especially with rally party, that's why we're using powerful party members. And we don't need to detonate, we will actually apply primaries and they will detonate our abilities. And so our companions. Since we're the tank, we need damage dealers, and we will use Harding and Lucanus. First of all, Harding got heavy draw abilities that will detonate Overwhelmed. That's how we level it up. Basically, we're going downwards to get more stagger from this ability, less cooldown, and then more damage, and then getting more detonation damage. And detonation will cause Overwhelmed to be permanent. Overwhelmed enemies will take additional stagger, which is insane for us, and effectiveness of Overwhelmed will be applied by Overpower and will be increased by 20% basically. So also Harding can apply bleeding to targets from time to time, and that's why she's a nice party member combined with Lucanus. Lucanus' main ability will be Eviscerate, which is a necrotic ability that can detonate overwhelmed enemies also. So we level it up over here, we get an Eviscerate to reduce cooldown, enemies hit by this ability have their necrotic resistance reduced, and also damage versus barrier will be higher over here. And then we're going to the right side, making more damage versus high health, extra hit dealing 50% as physical damage, and on impact applies necrosis and bleeding. So we get like a lot of ways to apply bleeding right now. And also when you finish quest lines, Lucanus will have more critical and detonation damage, and abilities will deal more damage to enemies suffering from affliction. And they will suffer from afflictions a lot since we can apply burning, and Harding can apply bleeding a lot. And that's basically our gear. Gear is also important. Harding bow is my regards. Attack my target will deal more damage versus staggered enemies. And staggered enemies will have 0 defense, as you remember, thanks for our skill tree. So our companions will deal with enemies like really fast. Harding weapon attacks will be critical while you have precision, and your precision duration will be increased by 50% with keepsake box sealed papers. And it's really easy to get precision, so I will have nice time with Harding dealing some damage. For trinket I got revival charges and less cooldown for Harding. And for armor it's Warden Speeder, detonations will be wider and apply vulnerability to physical if a lot of enemies get hit. Then we get into Lucanus. So, first of all, when Lucanus is detonating overwhelmed, he will apply bleeding, and if enemy is already bleeding, he will deal some necrotic damage. Every time Lucanus will apply stack of bleeding, he will deal some physical damage, and he will easily apply a lot of bleeding, because with Lucanus in the party, your critical ability hits apply bleeding. If enemy is maximum bleeding stacks, it also will be applied with necrosis. And second weapon will be God's Foil. Attack my target has some penetration, and upgraded weapon will have ability to apply bleeding. Another stack of bleeding when enemy already got bleeding. So that's basically our armors and weapons for our party. Now let's go into the fight. So, how we can fight? We actually can go in and just stand still. Now let's look at this enemy. Most of the time we will start fight by just using grappling spear and detonating enemy. But we don't need to be fast, we need to gather enemies first, so we can start with just attack my target and that's it. They will attack my target, enemies will come close, and basically we can actually like tank a lot. And most of the time you just want to use perfect defense. So we just wait for this yellow. This guy is actually attacking pretty like fast. We need to time it correctly. And when enemies is close, we can use Stomp. So after Stomp, all enemies is overwhelmed. They are on their knees. They trying to like get up. And that's the time when we try to use heavy draw from hardening, for example, to make detonation. So now a lot of enemies will be detonated. And now it's time to make another combination. So one skill just made a lot of enemies overwhelmed, so we can make one more detonation, but let's detonate this bro first. So we're doing first skill to make him overwhelmed. Now he's overwhelmed, and we're doing eviscerate to detonate this bro. He's detonated, bleeding, necrosis stacks, and we can go in with our heavy attack, doing some crazy shield attacks and inflicting a lot of stacks, bleeding, necrosis, damage over time, and basically having some fun. So again, shield is a great way to inflict a lot of stagger, and you can do charge shield attacks or you can make combination shield attack. All attacks can be blocked actually, so don't forget you can even block against this hardest attack. Let's wait. Yeah, that's the hardest attack. It will instantly inflict burning and also high amount of stagger. He's on his knees as you can see, and with the shield we're doing large amount of stagger. He's already done, but that's because my weapons is really high level, and as you can see my party members doing great destroying enemies. Before you will upgrade your enemies to like your weapons to this tier, let's actually like overwhelm all of them and do some detonations with our friends. But basically you will stagger enemies a lot. As you can see, it's really easy to stagger them, but they're dying too fast. And our team members doing nice amount of damage at the same time, so we can just go in and tank for our friends, push enemies off the cliffs. Again, one of the best ways to apply a lot of stagger actually is to just like make perfect defense. Just play some time, you will learn and can do nice stuff with this combination. So it's pretty nice, tanky and fun build to play that can easily stagger your enemies and deal a lot of damage. And every time we stagger an enemy, don't forget we can do takedown and get random and powerful advantages. That's how you play this cool gladiator build. I hope you enjoyed this one and you will have blast playing it in Dragon Age Veilguard. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now and see you there.